Never let an alpha hear your voice. Lillian Hayes was 16 when her mother gave her that warning. Rain struck the bedroom window hard enough to shake the glass. Lily knelt beside the narrow bed, both hands wrapped around her mother's cold fingers while thunder rolled across the Blackthorn Mountains. "Mom." Margaret Hayes struggled for another breath. Her face had become painfully thin during the final months, but her green eyes remained sharp. Afraid. Not of dying. Of something else. "Listen to me, Lily. I am." Her mother's fingers tightened around her wrist. "If they know. If an alpha hears what you can do," she coughed violently. Lily reached for the water. Margaret knocked the glass away. "Promise me." "I don't understand." "You don't need to. Not yet." "Mom, promise." Lily's throat tightened. "I promise." Margaret exhaled. Her grip loosened. Then she whispered the words Lily would carry for the next 8 years. "Silence will keep you free." By morning, Margaret Hayes was dead, and Lily Hayes never spoke again. At least, that was what Blackthorn Pack believed. 8 years later, Lily crossed the servants' corridor carrying a tray of clean glasses. 2 young guards stood near the kitchen entrance. One noticed her. "Well, look who's here." Lily kept walking. "Morning, Silent Lily." The other guard laughed. She didn't look at them. That usually made people bored faster. "Think she even remembers how to make a sound. Why don't you ask her?" "I just did." More laughter. Lily lowered her eyes. Inside, she thought one word. Good. Let them laugh. Let them believe she was broken. 8 years had taught her that people stopped fearing a woman once they decided she was powerless. More importantly, alphas stopped wanting her. At 16, Lily had watched girls only a few years older disappear into mating arrangements negotiated between families. Pretty girls. Healthy girls. Girls who laughed too loudly at summer festivals and dreamed about being chosen. Lily had learned to make herself the opposite. Quiet. Forgettable. Unwanted. Safe. She entered the kitchen. Mrs. Porter, the head housekeeper, pointed toward a stack of silver trays. "Royal banquet tonight. Those need polishing." Lily nodded. "Everyone." Another nod. Mrs. Porter softened. "You know the Alpha King is coming?" Lily's hand stopped. Only for a second. Then she resumed arranging the glasses. "King Rowan Ashford himself." Mrs. Porter continued. "Half the unmarried women in Blackthorn have suddenly discovered they own expensive dresses." A kitchen maid giggled. "Imagine being his mate." Lily's stomach tightened. The maid sighed dreamily. "They say he's never found her." "Lucky woman," Mrs. Porter muttered. Everyone laughed. Except Lily. She carried the silver into the workroom. The moment the door closed, her shoulders dropped. Alpha King Rowan Ashford. She knew the name, of course. Everyone did. 34 years old. Supreme Alpha of the Northern Territories. A man whose authority reached across 12 packs. Lily had never seen him. She intended to keep it that way. She touched the thin silver chain beneath her collar. Her mother's ring hung there. Never let an alpha hear your voice. 8 years. Not one mistake. When Lily needed something, she wrote it. When someone insulted her, she stared through them. When she woke screaming from dreams about her mother's final night, she buried her face in the pillow before any sound escaped. Eventually, people stopped asking whether she might recover. They simply accepted Silent Lily. The broken Omega. The woman no alpha would bother claiming. By late afternoon, Blackthorn Keep transformed. Royal banners hung from the stone balconies. Guards lined the courtyard. Servants hurried through corridors carrying wine, flowers, and polished silver. Lily stayed busy. Busy meant invisible. Then the horn sounded. Once. Twice. 3 times. Every conversation stopped. Lily stood beside a banquet table with a crystal pitcher in her hands. Outside, horses entered the courtyard. "His Majesty," someone whispered. Lily's pulse quickened. "Don't look." She concentrated on filling the glasses. Boots crossed the entrance hall. Measured. Unhurried. People bowed as the royal party entered. Lily kept her head lowered. A strange pressure moved through the room. Wolf. Power. Every instinct inside her recognized an alpha before she saw him. Not just an alpha. The alpha. Her hand tightened around the pitcher. Then something deep inside her chest responded. Lily froze. No. She had never felt that before. Slowly, against every warning in her mind, she looked up. Rowan Ashford stood across the hall. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Black hair swept back from a hard, handsome face. His formal coat was charcoal rather than ceremonial gold, almost severe in its simplicity. but his eyes, silver gray. They were already looking directly at her. Lily forgot the glass beneath the pitcher. Water spilled across the white tablecloth. A servant beside her gasped. Lily quickly set the pitcher down. Across the crowded hall, Rowan didn't look away. His wolf had become restless the instant he entered Blackthorn Keep. Now it pressed beneath his skin. Not aggression, not recognition. Something stranger. Something he couldn't name. Your Majesty? Rowan ignored the councilman beside him. His attention remained on the young servant across the room. She had gone completely still. Who is she? The councilman followed his gaze, then chuckled. Her. Rowan's expression cooled. Did I ask about someone else? The man cleared his throat. Lillian Hayes. An Omega servant. Why is everyone staring at her? They aren't. They were when she dropped the pitcher. The councilman shrugged. People find her strange. Why? She doesn't speak. Rowan looked at Lily again. She was already wiping the table. Fast. Controlled. Trying very hard not to look at him. Born mute. No. Some childhood trauma, apparently. Hasn't spoken in 8 years. Rowan watched Lily respond instantly when another servant whispered an instruction behind her. Too instantly. Then a nobleman passing the table said something cruel enough to make 2 nearby guests laugh. Lily didn't flinch. Instead, her eyes hardened. For half a second, Rowan saw it. Not shame. Calculation. The nobleman believed he was mocking a helpless woman. Rowan saw something entirely different. Lillian Hayes wasn't hiding because she had no voice. She was hiding inside the belief that she didn't. And for the first time in 8 years, Lily realized someone had looked at her silence and seen the secret underneath it. Rowan Ashford had learned long ago that silence could be more revealing than speech. Councilmen became silent when they were hiding numbers. Soldiers became silent when they were afraid. Alphas became silent when pride prevented them from admitting weakness. Lillian Hayes was different. Her silence was practiced. Rowan watched her throughout dinner. Not constantly. That would have been obvious. But often enough. Lily moved between tables with controlled efficiency, refilling glasses and removing plates before anyone asked. She seemed to know where every conversation was going before the speaker finished a sentence. When someone called her name from behind, she responded immediately. When a drunken noble deliberately whispered, "Broken little thing," Lily's shoulders remained still, but her fingers tightened around the tray. She heard everything. She understood everything. And she wanted everyone to believe none of it mattered. Interesting. Your Majesty? Rowan turned toward Alpha Marcus Vale, Blackthorn's leader. Vale lifted his wineglass. You were asking about the marriage registries. I was asking why 17 mating contracts were approved in 6 months. Vale smiled. Blackthorn values tradition. I value accurate paperwork. The smile weakened. Rowan had come because 3 women registered as voluntarily bonded had vanished from Crown census records. He intended to discover why. Yet his wolf remained distracted by the silent servant across the hall. Rowan pushed the irritation aside. Then Lord Everett Crane intercepted Lily. Crane was 50, wealthy, and exactly the sort of man who mistook social rank for character. He placed his empty glass on her tray. Wine. Lily poured. Crane deliberately moved the glass. Red wine spilled across his sleeve. His companions laughed. Crane's expression hardened. Look what you've done. Lily reached for a cloth. He caught her wrist. Rowan's wolf surged. His chair scraped against the floor. Conversation around him stopped. Crane released Lily before Rowan even crossed the room. Your Majesty. Rowan looked at the man's hand. Did she give you permission to touch her? Crane blinked. That was not my question. No, Rowan's gaze hardened. Then don't. Crane stepped back. Lily stared at Rowan. Those green eyes were not grateful. They were suspicious. Good, Rowan thought. Gratitude could be manipulated. Suspicion had to be earned through. Crane forced a laugh. The girl doesn't care. She can't even complain. Rowan turned toward Lily. Is that true? Every nearby guest watched. Lily's pulse hammered. This was dangerous. She nodded once. Crane smiled triumphantly. Rowan didn't. His eyes narrowed slightly. Lily realized her mistake. He hadn't asked whether she could complain. He had asked whether she cared. Rowan stepped aside. You may go. Lily left immediately. She didn't breathe normally again until she reached the servants' corridor. Her hands were shaking. Not because Crane had grabbed her. Men like Crane were predictable. The king wasn't. Lily entered the pantry and closed the door. She touched her throat. Why had Rowan defended her? Worse, why had he looked at her as if her silence were a puzzle? She pulled a small notebook from her apron. One sentence was written on the first page. Never let an alpha hear your voice. Lily stared at it. Then footsteps approached. She closed the notebook. The pantry door opened. Rowan stood there. Lily's heart slammed against her ribs. He stopped outside. May I come in? The question surprised her. Kings did not ask servants for permission to enter pantries. Lily hesitated, then nodded. Rowan stepped inside, but remained near the door. You understand me perfectly. She nodded. You can read lips? Another nod. That wasn't necessary. I wasn't facing you when I asked Crane to release your wrist. Lily went still. Rowan watched her carefully. He had her. Not proof, but close. You hear normally. She nodded. That part had never been secret. Yet you haven't spoken in 8 years. Another nod. Because you can't. Lily forced herself to nod. Rowan's wolf stirred. Lie. He didn't know how the animal knew. But it knew. Rowan could have confronted her. Instead, he stepped backward. All right. Lily blinked. He opened the door. That was it. She stared at him. Rowan noticed. You expected an interrogation? Lily didn't move. I investigate crimes, Miss Hayes. Being private isn't one. Then he left. Lily remained frozen. For 8 years, she had survived by letting people accept the easiest explanation. Rowan Ashford clearly did not accept it. Yet he had walked away. That frightened her almost as much as discovery. The next morning, Lily was assigned to the royal wing. She stared at Mrs. Porter when the housekeeper handed her the schedule. Yes, you. Lily pointed to herself. The king requested a servant who wouldn't interrupt him. Mrs. Porter smiled. Apparently you've finally found someone who appreciates your condition. Lily did not find that comforting. For the next 3 days, she brought Rowan coffee, carried documents, and organized correspondence while Crown investigators questioned Blackthorn officials. Rowan never asked her to speak, never mentioned the pantry, never touched her. But he watched. Lily began watching him too. She noticed he thanked servants. She noticed he listened longer than most alphas. She noticed he hated excessive sugar in his coffee. And she noticed that whenever another man stepped too close to her, Rowan's jaw tightened. On the 4th afternoon, Lily carried sealed letters across the courtyard toward the royal office. A scream erupted from the stables. She turned. A stallion burst through an open gate. The horse reared W. Lily heard her own voice echo long after the courtyard fell silent. Move. One word. One mistake. 8 years gone. The rescued boy began crying in the stable hand's arms. Someone rushed toward the frightened stallion. Servants shouted for the gates to be closed. But Lily heard none of it clearly. She could only see Rowan. He stood beneath the stone archway, perfectly still. His silver-gray eyes held hers. Lily's mother had warned her never to let an alpha hear her voice. Now the most powerful alpha alive had. Lily stepped backward. Rowan moved forward. She flinched. He stopped immediately. That tiny act confused her almost as much as his expression. He wasn't angry. He looked stunned. Inside Rowan, there was nothing. For most of his life, his wolf had existed as a second pulse beneath his skin, watching, judging, demanding. Now the animal was utterly quiet. Rowan had fought wars without achieving this kind of stillness. One word from Lily had done it. Everyone back to work, he ordered. The courtyard slowly moved again. Rowan looked at Lily. Miss Hayes. She backed away, then turned and ran. Lily. She didn't stop. Rowan started after her, then forced himself to remain where he was. Chasing a terrified woman would answer the wrong question. Lily reached the servant's wing, grabbed her coat, and shoved her notebook into a small canvas bag. Leave. That was the only thought she trusted. She had kept emergency money beneath a loose floorboard for years. Enough for a train south. Maybe farther. Somewhere nobody knew Silent Lily. She pulled the coins free. The door opened behind her. Lily spun. Mrs. Porter stood there. What are you doing? Lily pointed toward the courtyard, then made a frantic gesture toward the road. You're leaving? Lily nodded. Because you spoke? Her stomach dropped. Already. Mrs. Porter's eyes widened. Good Lord. It's true. Lily grabbed her bag. Lily, wait. She hurried into the corridor. 2 royal guards appeared at the far end. Lily froze. They were not looking for her, but panic didn't care. She turned toward the rear staircase. Miss Hayes. Rowan's voice came from below. Lily stopped. Slowly, she descended. Rowan waited alone at the bottom. No guards. No alpha veil. No witnesses. Lily tightened her grip on the bag. You're leaving? She stared at him. Because I heard you. Her silence was answer enough. Rowan stepped aside from the staircase. The path to the rear exit was open. I won't stop you. Lily's eyes narrowed. But if you run now, everyone will know there is something worth chasing. She hated that he was right. Rowan saw the realization. I haven't told anyone. Lily searched his face. I won't. Why? The question must have shown in her eyes. Rowan understood. Because your secret belongs to you. Lily's throat tightened. Nobody had ever described it that way. Not a lie. Not deception. Hers. Rowan reached into his coat. Lily stiffened. He removed a small notebook and pencil, then placed both on a table between them. He stepped back. Lily stared. You don't have to speak to me. Her heart beat harder. Rowan nodded toward the notebook. But I would like an answer to one question. Lily hesitated before approaching. She picked up the pencil. Rowan waited. She wrote, Why? Why am I keeping your secret? She nodded. Because whatever made a 16-year-old girl decide 8 years of silence was safer than being heard must have been worse than silence. Lily stopped breathing. Rowan's wolf stirred faintly. Not because she had spoken, because she was afraid. He hated that he could smell it. Lily wrote again. You don't know me. No. Then don't pretend you understand. I don't. His answer came without defensiveness. I'd rather you tell me when you decide I deserve to. Lily stared at him. No alpha had ever spoken to her like choice was something she owned. She wrote, And if I never do? Rowan read it. Then I never know. Something inside Lily shifted. Small. Dangerous. Hope had always been more dangerous than fear. She closed the notebook. Rowan turned toward the corridor. Lily touched his sleeve. He stopped. She immediately released him. Then wrote one final question. What happened to your wolf? Rowan looked at the words for several seconds. I don't know. That frightened him more than he wanted her to see. He's never been silent before. Lily's face lost color. Her mother's voice returned from 8 years ago. Never let an alpha hear your voice. She backed away. Rowan noticed. Lily. She shook her head, then walked past him. He let her. That evening, Lily remained in Blackthorn. Leaving immediately would attract too much attention. She returned to work. Nobody openly questioned her about the courtyard. Apparently, most had assumed the shouted warning came from someone else. Rowan kept his promise. He said nothing. For 2 days, they communicated through paper, coffee, files, investigation schedules, then gradually other things. Rowan once wrote, This coffee could kill a lesser man. Lily replied, Then drink faster. He stared at the note. She saw the corner of his mouth move. For the first time, Lily almost laughed aloud. She caught herself. Rowan noticed that too. He said nothing. On the third evening, they worked alone in the royal study. Rain tapped softly against the windows. Lily organized witness statements while Rowan read contract records. His hand reached toward the same document as hers. Their fingers touched. Lily froze. Rowan's wolf surged awake. Not violently. Recognition. A deep, impossible pull moved through him. His eyes flashed silver. Lily snatched her hand away. Rowan stood. Lily. A crash exploded beyond the study doors. Rowan turned. The door burst inward. A masked man rushed through. Steel flashed in his hand. Rowan moved toward him. He didn't see the second attacker emerging from the balcony behind him. Lily did. The man raised a blade. Her mother's warning screamed inside her. 8 years of silence. 8 years of survival. Rowan was one step from death. Lily opened her mouth. Rowan. His name tore through the room. Rowan spun. His wolf answered her voice instantly. And this time, they were not the only ones who heard it. Rowan moved before the second attacker could bring the blade down. He caught the man's wrist, twisted hard, and drove him into the stone wall. The knife struck the floor. Behind him, the first attacker lunged. Rowan's wolf surged. For one violent second, silver flooded his eyes. He struck once. The attacker collapsed across the desk. Guards thundered through the doorway. Alive, Rowan ordered. I want both of them questioned. But nobody moved immediately. Everyone was staring at Lily. She stood beside the scattered documents, one hand pressed over her mouth. Too late. A guard whispered. She spoke. Another servant appeared in the corridor. Then another. Lily's pulse pounded against her throat. 8 years. Destroyed by one name. Rowan. He turned toward the witnesses. Everyone out. Your Majesty, now. The command shook the room. Guards dragged the attackers away. Servants disappeared. The doors closed. Lily backed toward the balcony. Rowan saw the terror in her face. He stopped several yards away. I won't come closer. Her hand slowly lowered. You saved my life. Lily looked away. Thank you. She flinched at the words as if gratitude itself might become a chain. Rowan noticed. He reached for the notebook on the desk and slid it toward her. You can still use this. Lily stared at him. You don't owe me your voice because I heard it. Something in her expression cracked. She took the pencil. They heard. Yes. They'll tell everyone. Probably. Her fingers trembled. I have to leave. Rowan's jaw tightened. He wanted to say no. His wolf wanted something stronger. Keep her here. Protect her. The instinct disturbed him. Instead, he said, if you decide to leave, I'll arrange safe passage. Lily looked up sharply. No argument. No order. Again. Why did that make trusting him more frightening? A knock sounded. Before Rowan answered, Alpha Vale entered with an older man Lily recognized as Alpha Silas Mercer, a visiting council representative. Mercer's gaze went directly to her. Not her face. Her throat. Lily's blood turned cold. I heard the servant speak, Mercer said. Rowan stepped subtly between them. A remarkable subject for royal business. Mercer ignored him. What did she say? Get out. Mercer's eyebrows rose. Your Majesty? That was me speaking. Vale coughed to hide something dangerously close to laughter. Mercer didn't move. I heard what happened to your wolf. Rowan's expression hardened. Lily's stomach dropped. How? Every alpha in this wing felt it. Mercer stared at her. When she spoke your name, your wolf answered. Lily backed away. Mercer's eyes narrowed. Then recognition appeared. No, Rowan saw it. What? The older alpha stepped closer. Rowan blocked him. Mercer whispered a word Lily had never heard before. Sirenborn. The room went silent. Lily's fingers closed around her mother's ring beneath her collar. Rowan looked at Mercer. Explain. Mercer's attention remained fixed on Lily. An old bloodline. Supposedly extinct. Supposedly. Women whose voices affect wolves. Lily shook her head. Mercer smiled. You don't even know, do you? Rowan's wolf growled. Look at me when you're speaking. Mercer reluctantly turned. What exactly can they do? That depends on the stories. Calm wolves. Strengthen bonds. Some records claim they could command an alpha. Lily's face drained of color. Her mother's warning finally had a shape. Never let an alpha hear your voice. Mercer looked at her again. A siren-born female hasn't been registered in nearly 30 years. Registered. The word made Lily sick. Rowan heard it too. She's a woman, Mercer. Not livestock. Under crown bloodline statutes. I suggest you stop that sentence. Mercer did. Barely. Lily watched Rowan. His shoulders were rigid. His wolf was close. Power filled the room. Yet none of it was directed at her. Mercer bowed stiffly. The council will hear about this. Then tell them I said hello. Mercer left. Vale followed after one uneasy glance at Lily. The door shut. Lily and Rowan were alone again. She picked up the notebook. What happens now? Rowan read the words. I find out what Sirenborn means. And me? His eyes lifted to hers. You decide what happens to you. Lily wanted to believe him. Then his wolf pressed forward. She felt it. The same strange pull from their accidental touch. Her gaze dropped to his hands. Powerful hands. Hands that could hold her in place if he chose. Rowan noticed where she was looking. He stepped farther away. That hurt more than it should have. Lily wrote, Why does your wolf react to me? I don't know. She stared at him. That's the truth. Lily slowly closed the notebook. Outside, bells began ringing across Blackthorn Keep. Not alarm bells. Messenger bells. Word was already traveling. Rowan looked toward the window. By morning, every ambitious alpha within 200 miles may know you're here. Lily's breathing quickened. Rowan turned back. But tonight, nobody enters this room without your permission. She looked at him. He pulled a chair beside the door and sat down. Not beside her. Between her and everyone else. Lily understood. He intended to guard the entrance himself. She should have been afraid of the Alpha King. Instead, for the first time since her mother died, Lily wondered what it might feel like to sleep without guarding her own voice. And Rowan wondered why protecting her silence suddenly mattered more to him than hearing her speak again. Lily woke before sunrise. For one disoriented second, she forgot why she was sleeping on the narrow couch in Rowan's study. Then she saw him. The Alpha King remained beside the door. He had fallen asleep sitting upright, arms folded across his chest, his head resting against the stone wall. He had stayed exactly where he promised he would, between her and everyone else. Lily sat up carefully. Rowan's eyes opened. Immediately. "You're awake." She nodded. His gaze moved toward the untouched notebook beside her. "You don't have to explain anything today." Lily stared at him. How could a man who wanted answers make it so difficult to fear him? A heavy knock struck the door. Rowan stood. "Your Majesty," a guard called. The Crown Archives responded. Rowan opened the door only far enough to accept a sealed envelope. "No visitors." "Yes, Your Majesty." He closed it again. Lily watched him break the seal. His expression darkened as he read. "What?" The word escaped her before she could stop it. Rowan's head snapped up. Lily covered her mouth. She had spoken voluntarily. Barely. But she had. Rowan's wolf went utterly still. Again. He didn't move closer. "Are you asking me what the letter says?" After several seconds, Lily nodded. Rowan placed the document on the table. Sirenborn records were sealed 28 years ago. Lily reached for her notebook. "Why?" "The archive doesn't say." "Who sealed them?" "My father." Her pencil stopped. "King Alistair Ashford. The former Alpha King." Rowan looked toward the window. "I need the original records." Lily wrote. "And until then?" "Until then, nobody gets near you without your permission." A bitter smile touched her mouth. She wrote, "You can't guard a door forever." "No," Rowan met her eyes. "But I can make people regret opening it." Despite herself, Lily smiled. For the next 2 days, Blackthorn Keep became a cage disguised as a fortress. Messages arrived from neighboring packs. Questions. Requests. Then demands. Alpha Silas Mercer requested a formal bloodline examination. Rowan denied it. Alpha Vale suggested moving Lily to a secure pack residence. Rowan denied that too. 3 council representatives requested to hear Lily speak. Rowan sent all 3 the same answer. No. Lily learned about each request because Rowan showed her every letter. He hid nothing. That mattered. It mattered too much. On the 3rd evening, Rowan found her standing beside the study window. Below, guards crossed the courtyard. Lily wrote, "They're here because of me. They're here because powerful men have poor boundaries." Her lips twitched. Rowan noticed. "You almost laughed." She raised one eyebrow. "I'll consider that progress." Lily wrote, "Don't." Understood. He returned to his desk. No pressure. Again. Lily watched him. Then she looked at the words she had written. Slowly, she turned the page. "Why did you come to Blackthorn?" "To investigate forced mating contracts." Her expression changed. Rowan continued. "Women were disappearing from Crown records after being listed as voluntarily bonded." Lily's stomach tightened. "How many?" 11 confirmed. Her fingers curled around the pencil. "And you think there are more?" "Yes." Lily stared through the window. Her mother's face returned to her. "Silence will keep you free." She wondered how many women had never been given even that chance. A sudden shout rose from the courtyard. Rowan was on his feet instantly. Another shout. Then glass shattered somewhere below. A guard burst through the door. "Your Majesty, West Corridor." Rowan moved. Lily caught his sleeve. He looked down. She shook her head. "Stay here." She shook her head harder. "Lily." Footsteps thundered outside. Then she smelled smoke. Rowan swore. They left together. The West Corridor was chaos. Smoke rolled beneath the ceiling. Servants fled toward the stairs while guards searched adjoining rooms. "Archives," Rowan said. Someone was burning evidence. He ran. Lily followed. They reached the records chamber just as a hooded figure emerged. The attacker saw Rowan and raised a crossbow. Lily's heart stopped. "Down." Rowan dropped. The bolt struck the wall. His wolf exploded forward. He crossed the distance in seconds and slammed the attacker against the floor. More guards arrived. Then Lily heard another sound. A metallic click behind Rowan. A second attacker. Again, hidden behind the smoke. A blade flashed. Lily didn't think. "Rowan." His name tore from her throat. The effect was immediate. Rowan spun with impossible speed. His wolf surged into perfect focus. Not wild, not uncontrolled. Focused. He caught the attacker's arm and drove him to the ground. Silence followed. Then someone whispered behind Lily. "Sirenborn." She turned. Mercer stood at the corridor entrance. And he was smiling. Lily's blood chilled. Dozens of witnesses surrounded them. Servants. Guards. Council representatives. There was no hiding now. Mercer stepped forward. "You all heard it." Rowan rose. "Don't." But Mercer was no longer speaking to him. The lost bloodline exists. Lily backed away. Mercer's gaze fixed on her with naked hunger. Do you understand what you are, girl? Rowan moved between them. She understands she's a person. Start there. Mercer laughed. You cannot hide her now. No, Rowan's voice became dangerously calm. I suppose I can't. Lily's heart sank. Then Rowan turned toward the gathered witnesses. Lillian Hayes is under Crown protection. No examination. No demonstration. No mating petition concerning her will be recognized. Mercer's smile vanished. You don't have authority to erase bloodline law. Watch me. Lily stared at Rowan's back. Mercer lowered his voice. You don't understand what you're protecting. Then educate me without looking at her like merchandise. Mercer's jaw tightened. The Sirenborn were bred for alpha courts for centuries. Lily went cold. Bred. The word came from her own mouth. Everyone froze. Mercer looked delighted. Rowan looked furious. Lily realized what she had done. But this time she did not cover her mouth. Mercer took one step toward her. Your voice can strengthen an alpha bond beyond anything ordinary wolves experience. With the correct mate, you could influence entire packs. Lily couldn't breathe. Her mother's warning finally became horrifyingly clear. Rowan stepped in front of her again. Mercer smiled at him. And if her voice affects your wolf this strongly already, Your Majesty, perhaps we should ask the more interesting question. Rowan's eyes narrowed. What question? Mercer's gaze moved between them. What exactly is Lillian Hayes to your wolf? Inside Rowan, the beast surged toward Lily with an answer he was no longer certain he could deny. Mine. Rowan clenched his fists. Not mine, he corrected silently. Never unless she chooses it. Behind him, Lily stared at the most powerful alpha in the Northern Territories and realized her greatest danger might no longer be that he had discovered her voice. It was that his wolf had begun to recognize the woman behind it. What exactly is Lillian Hayes to your wolf? Mercer's question hung in the smoke-filled corridor. Rowan didn't answer. Lily watched his hands tighten at his sides. For the first time since meeting him, she saw something close to fear in the Alpha King's face. Not fear of Mercer, fear of the answer. Enough, Rowan said. Mercer smiled. You felt it. I said enough. The power in Rowan's voice silenced the corridor. He turned to his guards. Seal the records chamber. Nobody leaves Blackthorn until I know who ordered that attack. Then he looked at Lily. His expression softened. Come with me. She hesitated. Rowan immediately corrected himself. If you want to. That mattered. Lily nodded. They returned to the royal study. Rowan locked the door, then placed the recovered archive packet on the table. One corner was blackened by fire. Lily sat opposite him. For several minutes, they read without speaking. Then Rowan found Margaret Hayes. Lily saw her mother's name and stopped breathing. Margaret Ellison. Sirenborn Registry. Confirmed. Her fingers began trembling. Rowan slid the document toward her. You should read it first. Lily looked at him. You have more right to it than I do. She lowered her eyes. The record described her mother at 17. Bloodline compatibility. Bond potential. Vocal response classification. Recommended alpha pairing. Lily's stomach turned. Her mother had been reduced to measurements. She turned the page. A mating order appeared beneath the royal seal. Authorized under King Alistair Ashford. Lily looked at Rowan. My father, he said. She returned to the document. Margaret had been bonded at 18 to Alpha Dominic Ellison. Lily had never heard the name. A later report showed Margaret had escaped the bond after 6 years. Then another entry. Subject recovered. Lily pushed away from the table. Rowan stood but didn't approach. What is it? Lily pointed at the word. Recovered. Like property. Rowan's jaw hardened. Keep reading. She almost couldn't. But she did. The next report described a forced rebonding attempt. Complications. Neurological damage. Permanent vocal sensitivity. Lily touched her throat. Then she reached the final page. Margaret Ellison escaped again while pregnant. New identity suspected. Location unknown. Lily stared at the date. 24 years ago. Her birth year. The room became unbearably quiet. My father wasn't Dominic Ellison. Her voice came softly. Rowan's wolf went still. Lily noticed. So did he. But neither mentioned it. No, Rowan said. My mother told me my father died before I was born. She was protecting you. From what? Rowan opened another document. The Sirenborn weren't dangerous in the way the old stories claimed. He read carefully. Their voices don't command wolves. Lily waited. They amplify an existing emotional connection. She frowned. Rowan continued. A frightened wolf may become calmer. A bonded wolf may become more responsive. An alpha already emotionally attached to a siren-born woman could experience an unusually powerful bond. Lily's face changed. That sounds harmless. It should have been. Rowan turned another page. But alphas discovered that forced mating bonds could exploit the effect. Lily understood. Her stomach twisted. They used them. Yes. To control other wolves? To strengthen authority. Stabilize unstable alphas. Influence pack behavior. Rowan's voice became colder with every word. For generations, siren-born women were treated as political resources. Lily closed her eyes. Never let an alpha hear your voice. Now she finally understood. Her mother had not feared what Lily could do. She had feared what powerful men would do once they discovered it. Why did the bloodline disappear? Rowan looked at the last surviving report. They didn't. Lily opened her eyes. They ran. A list followed. Missing. Deceased. Unregistered. Escaped. One after another. Women disappearing into new names and distant packs. Rowan stared at his father's seal. The crown called it extinction. Lily's voice shook. It was hiding. Yes. The word hurt. Because Lily had done exactly the same thing. 8 years without a voice. 8 years becoming invisible. Not because she was weak. Because generations of women before her had learned visibility could become a cage. Lily touched her mother's ring. She knew. Yes. Everything. Probably. Tears burned Lily's eyes. She never told me. She gave you the information she thought would keep you alive. Lily laughed bitterly. Silence. Rowan didn't answer. She looked at him. And now you heard me. Yes. Your wolf heard me. Yes. And it reacts. His hesitation was enough. Lily stood. Rowan remained where he was. What am I to your wolf? He looked at her. I don't know yet. That's not true. I don't know enough to give you an answer I trust. Lily's breathing quickened. She remembered Mercer. The hunger in his eyes. The records describing women as breeding assets. What if it's the voice? Rowan's brow furrowed. What? What if that's why you keep protecting me? It isn't. How can you know? Because I wanted to protect you before I heard you speak. The answer stopped her. Rowan stepped closer, then deliberately halted several feet away. I noticed you before I knew your secret. Lily's pulse jumped. You watched me. Yes. Why? His eyes held hers. Because you were the only person in that banquet hall trying desperately not to be noticed. Lily looked away. Her throat tightened. Rowan's voice softened. And because my wolf noticed you too. Before her voice. Lily looked back at him. That was somehow worse. A knock struck the door. Your Majesty. Rowan recognized the voice of his chief guard. What? A crown messenger arrived. From where? The capital. Rowan opened the door. The guard handed him a sealed order. Rowan broke it. His expression became stone. Lily reached for the notebook. What? Rowan didn't answer immediately. She wrote again. Tell me. The High Council has invoked the Bloodline Preservation Statute. Lily's face went pale. What does that mean? This time she didn't care that she had spoken. Rowan crushed the paper in his fist. It means they want you brought to the capital. For what? Evaluation. Her breath caught. And after that, Rowan said nothing. Lily understood anyway. Selection. Bonding. Claim. Everything her mother had hidden her from. She backed away. No, you're not going anywhere tonight. They'll make you. No, you're king, but you said the law exists. Rowan's wolf surged beneath his skin. So I'll change the law. Lily stared at him. You would do that for me. Rowan should have answered carefully. Instead, the truth came first. Yes. His wolf pressed forward with such force that his eyes flashed silver. Lily felt the invisible pull between them. She froze. Rowan froze too. The beast inside him finally gave the answer he had been refusing to name. Mate. Rowan's face changed. Lily saw it. Her mother's warning echoed through her memory. Never let an alpha hear your voice. She had spent 8 years believing discovery was the greatest danger. Now she understood there was something worse. The Alpha King wasn't merely affected by her voice. His wolf had recognized her as his mate. Lily knew before Rowan said anything. She saw it in the way his shoulders locked, in the silver flooding his eyes, in the terrible stillness that followed. Mate. Her mother's warning crashed through her memory. Never let an alpha hear your voice. Lily stepped backward. Rowan's wolf surged toward her. He forced himself to remain still. Lily, don't. The word came out sharp. His wolf immediately quieted. That terrified her more. Rowan saw it. He lowered his gaze. You're afraid of me. You're reacting to my voice. Yes. And now your wolf thinks I'm your mate. Rowan didn't answer. Lily laughed bitterly. Say it. His jaw tightened. Yes. The room seemed to shrink. Lily looked at the Sirenborn records scattered across the table. Women measured, paired, recovered, claimed. Her mother had spent her life running from exactly this. And Lily had walked straight into it. You knew? No, you felt something. I suspected something. When? The first night. Her face changed. Before I spoke? Yes. That should have reassured her. It didn't. Is that why you protected me? No, how do I know? You don't. The answer stopped her. Rowan took one slow step backward. You shouldn't trust me because I'm king. You shouldn't trust me because my wolf recognizes you. And you definitely shouldn't trust me because I tell you to. Lily stared at him. Then what am I supposed to do? Watch what I do next. A pounding struck the door. Your Majesty. Rowan turned. The council delegation is inside the gates. Lily's blood went cold. How many? 6 representatives. For Alpha escorts. Rowan's expression hardened. Too fast. Someone had prepared for this before the archive request was even sent. He looked at Lily. You need to decide whether you want to stay here or leave Blackthorn. Leave? I can give you a horse, money, and a route the council doesn't control. Lily searched his face. You'd let me go? Yes. Even now, Rowan knew exactly what she meant. Even though I'm your mate. His wolf clawed beneath his skin. No bond gives me the right to choose where you stand. Lily's throat tightened. For one dangerous second, she wanted to believe him completely. Then voices filled the corridor. By authority of the High Council, open this door. Rowan's eyes went cold. He walked toward the entrance. Lily caught his sleeve. He stopped. She released him immediately. If I leave, will you follow me? The question hurt more than Rowan expected. No, send guards. Only if you ask. Order me back? No, her eyes searched his. Claim me before they can? His wolf roared. Rowan's hands curled into fists. No, the word came rough. But certain. Lily picked up her mother's ring. She slipped it onto her finger. Then she took her canvas bag. Rowan stepped away from the door, leaving the path open. There's a servant's passage behind the east tapestry. It reaches the lower gardens. Lily walked toward it. Each step felt wrong. She had wanted freedom for 8 years. So why did leaving him hurt? At the tapestry, she stopped. Rowan. His wolf went instantly silent. He closed his eyes. Lily saw the effect. Fear returned. Rowan opened his eyes. Go. She disappeared behind the tapestry. Rowan stood alone. Seconds later, the study doors shook beneath another blow. He opened them. 6 council representatives waited outside. Mercer stood among them. Where is she? Rowan smiled without warmth. Good evening to you too. Mercer inhaled. His expression changed. She was here. She was. Where did she go? Somewhere she chose. Mercer's face darkened. You allowed an unregistered Sirenborn to leave? I allowed Lillian Hayes to leave. She is your mate. Rowan's wolf slammed against him. Mercer smiled. So it's true. Rowan stepped closer. Say that loudly enough for her to hear, and I'll personally explain why it changes nothing. You could claim her tonight and end this. No, the council would recognize your right. I don't want the council's permission to own a woman. Mercer stared at him. You're going to lose her. Rowan looked toward the hidden passage. Pain tightened around his ribs. Maybe. And you can tolerate that? No, the honesty erased Mercer's smile. But I'll tolerate losing her before I become the reason she has to disappear again. Miles from Blackthorn, Lily rode south beneath a moonless sky. No guards followed. No royal wolves appeared between the trees. Rowan had kept his word. She should have felt relieved. Instead, every mile made her chest ache. Near dawn, she reached an abandoned mill beside the river. She tied the horse beneath an overhang and went inside. A lantern suddenly flared. Lily froze. 3 men emerged from the shadows. None wore Blackthorn colors. One held a silver chain. Lillian Hayes. She turned toward the door. A 4th man blocked it. Don't make this difficult. Lily backed away. Who sent you? The men exchanged looks. The oldest smiled. So she really does speak. Lily's stomach dropped. She reached for the small knife in her bag. Someone grabbed her from behind. She fought. Hard. An elbow struck ribs. A heel found a shin. She tore free for half a second. Then silver closed around her wrist. Pain exploded through her arm. Lily screamed. The sound echoed through the mill. Nothing happened. No Alpha King came. Of course he didn't. She had made him promise not to follow. The men bound her hands. Where are you taking me? To the capital. For the council? The oldest man smiled. For everyone. Hours later, Rowan stood over a map in Blackthorn's war room. He had not slept. His wolf paced inside him, furious and restless. But Lily had chosen to leave. He would honor that. A guard entered. Your Majesty. Rowan looked up. We found her horse. Everything inside him stopped. Where? Near the southern mill. Rowan was already moving. The mill smelled of blood and silver. Lily was gone. A broken piece of chain lay near the door. Rowan picked it up. His wolf exploded. Then he saw something scratched into the dust beneath a broken window. 3 letters. Lily had carved them with one finger before they took her. CAP capital. Rowan closed his fist around the silver chain. His first instinct was to command every wolf in the Northern Territories to hunt. His second was worse. Claim her. Make the bond permanent. Then nobody could legally touch her. Rowan stared at the blood on the floor. That was exactly how men like Mercer thought. Use possession to solve possession. No. He stood. Prepare the royal guard. His captain nodded. And issue the mating claim? Rowan turned so sharply the man stepped back. There will be no claim. But if she's Sirenborn, she has a name. The captain lowered his head. Lillian Hayes. Rowan looked south toward the capital. For 8 years, Lily had survived by refusing to use her voice. Now men were taking her there because they wanted to decide who had the right to hear it. Rowan's eyes burned silver. He would go to the capital. He would break whatever law had made this possible. And if protecting Lily meant giving up the one bond his wolf wanted more than anything else, then the Alpha King would teach his kingdom something it had forgotten. A mate was not a possession, and love that required captivity was only another kind of cage. The High Council put Lily in a white room. White walls, white stone, white dress, as if making the cage beautiful could make it something else. A silver band circled one wrist, chained to the arm of her chair. The metal weakened her wolf enough that even breathing felt heavy. Across the chamber, 12 council seats rose in a semicircle. Mercer occupied one of them. He smiled when Lily looked at him. The examination is simple. Lily said nothing. An elderly councilwoman leaned forward. We need only confirm the extent of your ability. Silence. Speak, Miss Hayes. Lily stared at her. Mercer sighed. You pretended to be mute for 8 years. Surely you can stop pretending now. Lily's fingers curled around her mother's ring. Silence will keep you free. She finally understood the words completely. Her silence had never been weakness. It had been refusal. Mercer placed a document on the table. Under the Bloodline Preservation Statute, an unregistered Sirenborn must undergo evaluation before a compatible bond can be selected. Lily's stomach turned. Selected. Speak. She didn't. Mercer's smile disappeared. Bring him in. A young alpha was escorted into the chamber. Lily stiffened. No, the word escaped before she could stop it. Every wolf in the room reacted. The young alpha's eyes flashed. Mercer smiled again. Confirmed. Lily realized the trap. They had never needed a demonstration. They only needed to frighten her enough to make one sound. Remarkable, someone whispered. Mercer approached. Again. Lily closed her mouth. Say his name. She looked away. Miss Hayes. Nothing. Mercer bent closer. Your mother resisted too. Lily's head snapped toward him. You knew her? I knew of her. His gaze dropped to Margaret's ring. She caused considerable difficulty. Lily's blood burned. Mercer continued. Fortunately, history doesn't have to repeat itself. No, the chamber doors opened. The single word came from behind Mercer. Every council member stood. Rowan Ashford entered. He wore black. No ceremonial gold. No crown. Only the royal signet on his hand and fury in his silver-gray eyes. Mercer stepped back. Your Majesty. Rowan's gaze found Lily. Then the chain around her wrist. His wolf erupted. Several alphas lowered their eyes. Rowan did not. Remove it. The guard beside Lily hesitated. Now. The chain opened. Lily rubbed her wrist. Rowan crossed half the room before stopping himself. He remained several feet from her. Did they hurt you? She shook her head. Did you agree to this examination? Another shake. Rowan turned toward the council. Then we're finished. Mercer laughed softly. You know better. I know exactly what your law says. Then you know she cannot leave unbonded. Rowan's jaw tightened. Mercer gestured toward Lily. A siren born of her strength presents a political risk. The statute requires a recognized alpha bond. Your statute was written by men who profited from those bonds. It is still law. For another minute, the room went silent. Mercer stared at him. You cannot simply erase generations of bloodline regulation. I can revoke a crown statute enacted under royal authority. You'll trigger challenges from every major pack. Then they can challenge me. A councilman stood. There is another solution. Rowan looked at him. You are compatible with her. Lily's heart stopped. The councilman continued. Claim her yourself. Whispers spread around the chamber. Mercer smiled. For once, we agree. Rowan's wolf surged at the word. Mate. Lily watched his eyes turn silver. Fear climbed her throat. This was it. The solution every alpha understood. If Rowan claimed her, nobody else could. He could protect her permanently. All it would cost was her freedom. Mercer stepped closer. One mark, Your Majesty. The council recognizes your bond. Every competing petition disappears, and the Sirenborn remains under the protection of the crown. Rowan looked at Lily. She couldn't breathe. He walked toward her. One step. Two. Her mother's warning screamed inside her. Rowan stopped beyond arm's reach. Lily. She stared at him. His voice softened. Do you want me to claim you? Tears filled her eyes. She shook her head. Rowan turned around. No, Mercer stared at him. You would risk political war over a frightened woman's answer? Yes. She doesn't understand what she is. She understands the word no. Mercer's face hardened. Then perhaps she should never speak again. Rowan became perfectly still. The chamber waited. Then he looked at Lily. Maybe she won't. Her face changed. Rowan faced the council. Maybe Lillian Hayes never speaks another word for the rest of her life. His voice carried through the chamber. Not because she can't. A pause. Because none of you deserve to hear her. Lily's breath broke. Rowan removed his royal signet. He pressed it into the wax beneath the bloodline preservation statute. By authority of the crown, all compulsory Sirenborn registration is abolished effective immediately. The council erupted. Rowan continued over them. All bloodline-based mating petitions are void. Mercer slammed his hand against the table. You'll destroy alliances built over generations. Good. You could lose the throne. Rowan glanced at Lily. His expression did not change. Then I'll lose it. Silence. Mercer pointed at her. And your mate. Rowan's wolf roared. He let everyone feel it. Then he spoke. She is not my possession. Lily's tears spilled. The bond doesn't give me ownership of her body, her future, or her voice. Rowan looked directly at her. And if she never chooses me, that changes nothing. Something inside Lily shattered. Not painfully, like a locked door finally breaking open. Mercer stepped toward Rowan. You're weak. Rowan's gaze turned cold. No. He moved between Mercer and Lily. I'm powerful enough to hear no. Mercer stopped. Rowan extended his hand toward Lily, then seemed to reconsider. He lowered it. Even now, he wouldn't assume. The door is open, he said. Lily looked behind him. The guards had moved aside. Nobody blocked her. Nobody commanded her. Nobody owned her. She stood. Her legs trembled as she crossed the chamber. When she reached Rowan, she stopped. His wolf pressed toward her. He held himself still. Lily could have touched him. She wanted to. That frightened her. So she walked past him. Rowan let her. At the doorway, Lily turned. Their eyes met. He did not ask her to stay. That was why leaving suddenly hurt. Lily walked through the doors. For 8 years, she had believed freedom meant keeping her voice hidden from every alpha alive. Today, the most powerful alpha in the kingdom had heard her voice, discovered she was his mate, and surrendered every legal right that could have placed her in his hands. Rowan remained inside the chamber while Lily disappeared down the corridor. His wolf demanded that he follow. He didn't, because protecting her had never meant choosing where she went. It meant making sure the choice was finally hers. 6 months later, Lily Hayes spoke every day, just not to Rowan Ashford. She spoke to bakers at the morning market. She spoke to children who visited the small school where she now worked. She spoke to the elderly woman who rented her the apartment above a bookstore in the river town of Belhaven. Sometimes she even sang quietly while washing dishes. The first time she did, she cried afterward. Not because anything terrible happened, because nothing did. No alpha appeared. No council dragged her away. No one measured her voice or wrote down what it could do. It was simply hers. After the tribunal, Lily had left the capital alone. Rowan had provided nothing except an unsigned document confirming that every compulsory bloodline statute had been abolished. No carriage, no guards, no royal invitation. She had asked for freedom. He had given it without deciding what freedom should look like. The kingdom had not accepted his decision quietly. Lily heard the stories. 3 Northern Alphas challenged Rowan's authority. 2 council members resigned. Mercer was arrested after evidence connected his supporters to Lily's abduction and the attacks at Blackthorn. Other hidden siren-born women began coming forward. Not many. Enough. And Rowan? He remained king. Barely, according to the newspapers. He never contacted Lily. Not once. At first, she was relieved, then confused, then angry at herself for being disappointed. By the 6th month, she had stopped pretending she didn't understand why. She missed him. Not the Alpha King. Rowan. The man who drank terrible coffee without enough sugar. The man who had given her a notebook instead of demanding words. The man whose wolf wanted to claim her while the man himself opened the door. One bright autumn afternoon, Lily left the school carrying a basket of children's papers. Someone stood across the street. Tall, broad shoulders, black coat. Her heart stopped. Rowan. He was speaking with the bookseller outside Lily's building. No royal guard surrounded him. No ceremonial clothing. He looked almost ordinary. Almost. Then he turned. Their eyes met. His wolf recognized her instantly. Lily felt it. Rowan went completely still. He didn't cross the street. Didn't call her name. Didn't assume she wanted him there. Lily walked toward him. Each step made her pulse beat harder. When she stopped several feet away, Rowan inclined his head. Miss Hayes. She raised one eyebrow. His mouth almost smiled. Lily. Better. She waited. I didn't know you lived here. She studied his face. I mean that, he added. Lily believed him. She gestured toward the road, then toward him. You're wondering why I'm here. She nodded. Belhaven petitioned for an independent mating court after the old statutes were abolished. I came to sign the charter. Of course. He hadn't come looking for her. The disappointment was immediate and unreasonable. Lily nodded politely. Then she turned toward the bookstore. Lily. She stopped. Rowan caught himself. You don't have to stay. She looked back. His expression had changed. I just wanted to say I'm glad you're safe. Lily's throat tightened. She nodded. Rowan waited. Nothing more. Then he stepped backward. Goodbye. He turned. Something inside Lily panicked. For 8 years, silence had protected her from men who wanted too much. Now silence was about to cost her the one man who had never demanded anything. Rowan. He froze. The street seemed to disappear. Rowan slowly turned. Lily stood beneath the autumn sunlight with tears gathering in her green eyes. His wolf fell silent, exactly as it had the first time. But Rowan didn't move toward her. Lily swallowed. I want you to hear me. His expression broke. Not dramatically. Just enough. Are you sure? She almost laughed. Of course he would ask. Yes. One word. Chosen. Lily walked closer. I've been speaking for months. Rowan blinked. To everyone? Almost. Something warm entered his eyes. I'm honored to finally make the list. You were always on it. His smile disappeared. Lily looked down at her hands. I was afraid. I know. No. I was afraid of you. But that wasn't the worst part. Rowan waited. I was afraid I wanted you. His breath changed. Lily continued before courage disappeared. My mother taught me that wanting an alpha could become a cage. She had good reasons. Yes. Lily looked at him. But you had every chance to close one around me. Rowan said nothing. And every time, you opened the door instead. His wolf pressed toward her. Rowan held himself still. Lily smiled faintly. He's doing it again. Rowan looked almost embarrassed. He's had a difficult 6 months. So have I. I told him that. You talk to him? Constantly. Does he listen? Almost never. Lily laughed. The sound stopped Rowan more completely than her voice ever had. He stared. What? I've never heard you laugh. Lily's smile faded into something softer. No, Rowan looked at her as if she had handed him something precious. That was when Lily finally understood the difference. Other men had wanted her voice because it was rare. Rowan treasured it because it was hers. She stepped closer. His hands remained at his sides. Are you still certain? She asked. About what? That I'm your mate. Rowan's silver-gray eyes held hers. My wolf is. And you? His answer came quietly. I love you. Lily's breath caught. That wasn't the question. It was my answer. She stared at him. Rowan continued. I don't know what fate means. I don't care what bloodline records say. And I don't need a bond to tell me what I feel. He paused. If you never accept me as your mate, I still love you. Tears filled Lily's eyes. You make this very difficult. What? Being afraid of you. A soft laugh escaped him. Lily reached for his hand. Rowan froze. She threaded her fingers through his. His wolf surged with such joy that his eyes flashed silver. Lily felt the response in her bones. But there was no compulsion. No loss of herself. Only connection. Rowan. Yes. I don't want to claim. His fingers remained gentle around hers. Then there won't be one. I don't want to live at the palace. Neither do I most days. She laughed again. I need my work. Keep it. I may need silence sometimes. Then I'll sit quietly. Lily looked at him for a long moment. And if I need to leave? Rowan's expression softened. I'll open the door. That was the answer. Not because it was beautiful. Because he had already proven it. Lily lifted her free hand and touched his face. May I kiss you? The Alpha King actually looked surprised. Lily smiled. You're taking too long. Yes. Yes, you're taking too long. Yes, you can kiss me. So Lily did. No court watched. No council recorded it. No mating law gave it meaning. When she pulled away, Rowan rested his forehead lightly against hers. Was that my siren-born influence? She whispered. His mouth curved. No, how do you know? Because my wolf wanted to do that 6 months ago. And you? Longer. Lily laughed against his shoulder. For 8 years, she had believed freedom meant making herself silent enough that nobody powerful would choose her. She had been wrong. Freedom was not becoming unwanted. Freedom was knowing that being wanted did not erase the right to say no. Rowan squeezed her hand. I should let you get home. Lily looked toward the bookstore. Then back at him. He was already preparing to leave. Still not assuming. Still giving her the exit. She tightened her fingers around his. Stay. Rowan stopped. Are you sure? Lily smiled through sudden tears. Yes. She had spoken to save a child. She had spoken to save Rowan. She had spoken because powerful men frightened her. But this was different. Nobody was bleeding. Nobody was threatening her. Nothing depended on the next words except what Lily herself wanted. She looked directly into the silver-gray eyes of the most powerful alpha in the kingdom. My mother told me never to let an alpha hear my voice. Rowan's expression softened. She was trying to protect you. I know. Lily stepped closer. But she never met you. She took his hand and led him toward the bookstore. For 8 years, Lillian Hayes had survived by pretending she had no voice. The world had called her broken because it could not hear her. The Alpha King discovered the truth. And instead of demanding that she speak, he became the one man willing to love her silence. That was why, when Lily finally chose a life with him, she did not whisper. She opened the door, looked back at Rowan, and said clearly, Come home with me.